of us fall somewhere in the middle. Yet tracking treats the majority of our children in public schools like they are morons. Right. And we accept that status for them. So, one thing we must do, we must insist on a quality education for all of those children in the middle. That 96%. That 4% is in it. And to be honest, the 96% is getting not too much better than the people we have in special ed who are truly in need of special ed. Not all they dump in there because they don't want to be bothered. That's right. So the real issue is, if public education is to survive in this country, and there's efforts to get rid of it, the voucher system, choice, and they almost fooled me into that. I was thinking, I got so disgusted with public education for a while, I actually thought maybe the voucher system would work. But it won't. You know why? Because if you're in one community, and you already have $100, and I give you another $100, you're going to do really well with your school. But if this community only has $1, and I give them $100, they only have $101. So it's still separate and unequal education. Because they will never fully fund a voucher system. Because education is more than paying teachers. It's more than books. It's light, utilities, it's buildings. It's all these taxes, all these things. So it seems to me that since there's only one place the majority of the children in our country are required to go, they're not required to go to church. They're not required to go to jail. They are required to go only one place in this country, and that is the school, by law. And they are in school longer than they are in our homes. Right. In terms of the time we dialogue and talk with them. So it seems to me that if we want to save America, and if we want to save the children, we have to save our schools. We have to save our schools. And in order to have good students, you have to have what? Good schools. And you can't have good schools with only 5% or 10% of your student body being good students. If you want to have good schools, you have to make sure that 96% get a quality education as well as that 3% at the top. I think that's the real challenge. We have to demand that quality education. And we have to stop accepting the inferior status of our children. I have several children that are not my children. And they came up in the worst of times. I mean, mothers and fathers who were alcoholics and bad. You know the age-old story. The age-old story. And one son that I still have, it took me the longest to get him to understand how smart he was. And he is brilliant. He can do just about anything. But he had been told all his life that he came from trash, he wanted to be out of trash. And it was put in his sight. Just put in his sight. And I've had it for 4 years. For 4 years I've just been trying to get him to understand his own beauty and his own talent. It has taken me 4 years to begin to break through. When a child is in my home every day, what do you think it's going to take for those children in those schools who are never told, or ever told how beautiful they are, how talented they are? They have not been told. They have not been told that they're part of that 96%. And they are not morons. And if you don't think attitude is important, study was done in Chicago some years ago, where a teacher was told, look, this group is yours. This is really the so-called gifted group over here because of the test scores. And this was the dumb group, according to their classification. So the teacher was told, look, this is your smart group, and this is your dumb group. Guess what happened? The children, she treated the children like they were smart. She expected a lot from them, and they performed miracles in her eyesight. I submit to you, when we create a school system that treats every child, except those that are physically and truly mentally impaired, if we treat every child with the potential and challenge them with the potential God has given them, we will have good schools and we will have the majority of our children inferior, it really doesn't matter. Because even if they were inferior, let's assume that this group over here has an intelligence of 100, and this one has intelligence of 80. Well, my reading tells me, and I believe this, and I think Thomas Jefferson or some famous man said it that people believe in, that most people only use a certain percentage of their potential. I don't remember, it may have been as high as 50. I don't think it was as high as 50. But we never use our potential. So even if this group was an 80, if they use 60% of their potential, they would be up with this group. And what that says to me, don't tell me this group can't take algebra, can't take geometry, can't take biology. It really infuriates me that we're so concerned about teenage pregnancy, yet we have what we call a vocational track where young girls and young men are denied or discouraged from taking biology. That makes no sense.
Right, amen.
Our children, if we want them to be whole and complete human beings, and we want this country to be a whole and complete country, we must give them a liberal arts education. It amazes me how we decide that a child, 16, doesn't have enough sense to know who to vote for, so therefore he doesn't have the right to vote, don't have enough sense to decide that he shouldn't smoke or drink, which I agree with. But the fact is, we let a child 12 years old decide, no, I'm going to be in the vocational track. I don't need algebra, I don't need geometry, I don't need multiple education, I don't need that. How can we trust that kind of decision to a child 12 years old when we don't even give him the right to vote? It seems to me as adults, we have a responsibility to make sure there's a core curriculum in every school. And that core curriculum should be of the promise that whatever that child decides to do, and whatever that child decides to do, she will be prepared.
That's right.
If she prepares to sit home and just take care of her children, she'll be a good teacher for those children. If she decides to be a doctor, she'll be a good doctor. If she decides to be a mechanic, or if he decides to be a mechanic and 10 years later decides, I want to be an engineer. He won't have to go back to high school. He'll have the skills because high school has given him the skills to make a choice at any point in his life. Education. The child should come out of the 12th grade knowing how to do something, knowing how to make something happen. We have failed that child. Keep a child in school 12 years, and the child can't produce anything to take care of himself except a hamburger at McDonald's. And somebody told me this once, and I hate to say it, but it's the truth in it. The children that drop out might be the brightest, because they get bored. They cannot take taking the same mess over and over. General math called consumer math, general math called business math, but it's still addition and subtraction, something they learned in the third grade. And so the intelligent among them, many of them drop out. And you know what? It is all of our problem. I don't care what level the child is in. Your child could be in the magnet school, the best school in the country. But that child will be pushed out, not dropped out. We pushed out because we refuse to give them a quality education. We push them into drugs, we push them into crime. When they come to burglarize our homes, it becomes our problem. Burglarize our homes. It is our problem. We all have the moral and religious obligation to give all of our children a quality education. America will not be what it can be. Our schools will not be what they should be until we give every child a quality education. And we can do it. You know, people say, if we could go to the Persian Gulf and spend billions of dollars over some nonsense as far as I'm concerned, why can't we put billions of dollars into our schools? If we could get a